Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to my RPG News Roundup, this time for June 22nd, 2024, where each week I take a look back at the week in tabletop, computer, and console role-playing game news and bring you the highlights. As always, we will start with computer and console role-playing game news. It looks like Darkest Dungeon 2 is getting a Nintendo Switch release. It is set for release on July 15th to coincide with the already scheduled PS4 and PS5 versions. It'll be available in both a standard edition as well as a package with a Binding Blade DLC. Then, action RPG Maya Fumado is set for release on July 18th. It is a side-scrolling action RPG set in a post-apocalyptic world that is inspired by Japan. Sword of Convallaria is set for release on July 31st. It is a fantasy tactical RPG, sort of a turn-based genre with pixel art styling. You train a roster of mercenaries to try to save a nation. El Renteros Wanderings is set for PC release on August 22nd. It'll be an action RPG where the protagonist visits a remote town and goes about trying to help people between two worlds, the real and the fantasy. Not sure if it's going to have English support, we'll see. The page is in English, the game looks to be in Japanese. Anyway, Throne and Liberty is set to release on September 17th. It'll target the PS5 and the Xbox Series X/S as well as the PC. It'll be a free-to-play MMORPG set in the world of Silesium, where you are looking for a shattered relic. Romancing Saga 2: Revenge of the Seven is set for release on October 24th. It'll target the PC, PS4, PS5, and the Switch. It is a remake of the Super Famicom RPG and will be fully 3D and developed by the team behind Trials of Mana. I'm assuming that refers to the Trials of Mana remake, which is very good. I have it. I purchased it, and it's one of the few JRPGs I've actually enjoyed. I need to get back into like the entire Mana series at some point, but that's just me. I'm catching up. I was never a fan of JRPGs, and I've only just started really looking into them. Anyway, Farmagia is set to release in November. First, it'll target the PC, PS5, and the Switch. It'll be a monster farming RPG with action presentation set in a fantasy world where farmers grow, command, and train monsters. It looks like Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake will be released on November 14th, targeting the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X/S, as well as the Switch. It'll use the same sort of graphic presentation as Octopath Traveler and Triangle Strategy. It looks like Dragon Quest 1 or 2 will have remakes following sometime in 2025, and that's the one series I have really enjoyed is the JRPG in the JRPG realm, the Dragon Quest series. Fantasian Neo Dimension is set to release sometime this winter. It'll target the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X/S, as well as the Switch. It will be a turn-based diorama-style RPG set in a world ruled by machines. Fairy Tail 2 is set to release sometime in winter of this year. It'll target the PC, PS5, PS4, and the Switch, and will be based on the Alvarez Empire arc from the original manga. Phantom Brave, The Lost Hero, is in development, developed by the creators of the Disgaea series. It'll be a sequel to Phantom Brave, a PS2-era offering. It'll feature turn-based tactical RPG combat with gridless-style maps, just like the first one. As far as actual releases go, the DLC for Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, saw its release. A decent-sized expansion. I'd been looking forward to playing with this for a long time. I got some play in last night. I'm going to record it. I don't know if I'm going to put it for general release. I do have a full Elden Ring playthrough. I don't know if I ever actually fully released that, but my Patreons and subscribers have had access to that a while. I should probably refresh the link. Anyway, it's really, really neat and really, really difficult for me because I haven't played a Soulsborne in like a year plus. Anyway, Batten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster saw a release on the PC. Remasters of a set of JRPGs from, I believe, the PS1 and PS2 eras. They feature new graphics, quality of life improvements, and so on. Interregnum Chronicles False Prophet was released into early access. It is a turn-based tactical strategy game, not sure how much of an RPG it is, set in a post-apocalyptic world of winter. Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Quest of Memories saw its release. It is an anime-style dungeon crawler based on an anime and manga, where you play someone who had a rough meeting with Truck-kun and was reborn into a world of sword and sorcery. Good old Truck-kun to the rescue, just knocking people to other worlds left and right. Tactical RPG Sandwalkers is now in early access. It is a roguelike turn-based exploration game set in a series of hostile environments. Age of Wonders 4 got Eldritch Realms expansion. It offers a new Eldritch Sovereign as well as various new forms. Kien got a physical release. It is a Game Boy Advance titles of all things, originally developed in the early 2000s but never released. Tower Song is a turn-based RPG, a sort of strategy dungeon crawler where a fire tower has come to life and you must choose your hero, make equipment, build skills, and head on to retrieve your sister. There is a demo available. Ever After Falls is a farming sim/life sim style game where you farm, fish, make objects, and look to restore the peace of an area. There is dungeon delving involved, however. Scars of Mars saw its properly release. I think I covered this a few times. There's a few things that were released this week that I said were released last week, and I think that was just a scheduling issue with Steam, or maybe it's just a scheduling issue with my news roundup. Anyway, there is a demo available. It is a real-time RPG where you lead a team into a Mars research facility to rescue survivors. I think what happened with this one is they announced it, and then they released it into like early access, but it only lasted for a very short time, so I ended up covering like 3 times real quick. More DLC for Fate Samurai Remnant was released. An additional Episode 3, A Record Bay Long, and the Crimson Demon introduces more material after Chapter 3. In the Edo map, it is included in the Season Pass, so if you have that, you don't need it. Echo Generation Midnight Edition is an action-adventure JRPG where you lead a group of kids to uncover spooky mysteries. It is set in the 90s. Shinobi Saga is a retro-style pixel art action roguelite mini-RPG where you pick a ninja team and set out to journey to defeat evil spirits. Thistle Mine is a puzzle-style RPG set in an area where time and space are warped. It leans heavily on exploration, and you must clear out the exclusion zone area where the time-space anomaly is happening. Metal Slug Attack Reloaded is a simulation of strategy RPG tower defense. I don't know how that goes. Which takes the Metal Slug-style 2D pixel art and combat and assets, and it turns it into a sort of tower defense style mode. Not sure how much of an RPG it is, but it was tagged with RPG, so we shall see. Finally, there is Emo Quest XD, a retro style RPG adventure with a pretty straightforward story. I don't know, looks kind of emo. Not sure about that. Anyway, moving onward, we'll cover tabletop role-playing game news, and we'll dive right into minor PDF releases simply because most of the big announcements for the big print have been cover reveals and art reveals and content reveals for the upcoming D&D 2024 releases. I mean, there is Free RPG Day, but that's today, the 22nd, so by the time this actually releases, it'll be mostly over, so sorry about that. Anyway, we'll start with the pre-orders for the Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, and Monster Manual for the Roll20, available through DriveThruRPG, because you got to pre-order that digital stuff to make sure they don't run out of stock. Anyway, they are available individually and in a bundle. Moving onward, Rogue Genius Games has doubled down It Could Be Worse. It is a method for offering optional rules for paying a cost to try to snatch victory after failure in a major situation. Of course, if you fail again, things happen. It is available in 5th edition, Pathfinder 1st and 2nd edition, and Starfinder versions. Jenny in the Mist is available in print and is the first adventure module in a 5th edition and Pathfinder 1st edition campaign in the world of Yarth. D666 is a 6-dungeon zine available for 5th edition. It offers 6 mini-dungeons designed to enter into any campaign. Questonomic is a compendium of adventures offering 13 stories over 13 different adventures for 5th edition, designed to start with first-level characters. SideQuest has 2 offerings. There's SideQuest 2 Easy Adventures for 5th edition, which compiles a number of adventures, of course, for 5th edition. Then there's SideQuest Horror Stories for 5th edition that offers some horror-themed adventures. Brian Gods is a 5th edition one-shot adventure dealing with a town where horrors are emerging from the depths. The Gold Dragon Gambit is a 5th edition casino heist adventure that deals with a high-stakes card tournament. It offers options for playing in the tournament, guarding it, or even taking part in the heist. Kriagar, The Breach of the Filth, is a 5th edition adventure designed for characters of levels 2 to 4, dealing with a magical cataclysm. Mixed Up Myths, Energy Dragons, offers 8 new dragon families and is available in 5th edition and Pathfinder 2nd edition versions. Laidback DM has a few things in the Shot Glass Adventures series. There are Shot Glass Adventures, Town Setting Las Stand, which offers a setting for the next few adventures. Then they also have Shot Glass Adventures number 14, Dead in Lost Stand, and Shot Glass Adventures number 15, All in the Family. All are statted in 5th edition and OSR formats. And they usually run several of these adventures in the same area, so we shall see if there's more of them after this. The Pumpkin Witch is a 5th edition Halloween-themed adventure. It deals with a forgotten forest full of mysteries. The Song of the Red Herring is a 5th edition adventure that revolves around an inn named the Red Herring. It is owned by 4 sirens. I Fought the Boar is a sort of hunting and gathering simulator for 5th edition that can be used either as an adventure, a set of material to add as a side quest to an ongoing adventure, or as a solo quest. Then Armory Craft is a 5th edition item crafting supplement that lets you choose materials, add modifiers and enchantments, then put it into a weapon or armor plant in order to create a new item combination. Adventure Ripples has a couple of offerings. There's a Pantheon of Ethelon, which offers 40 gods, 40 subclasses, and 40 plus legendary artifacts. They also have 100 plus 6 curses and diseases for 5th edition, which gives you 100 plus 6 curses and diseases for 5th edition. Elements Unleashed, crafting character options, magic items, and monsters is exactly what it says on the tin. An expansion for 5th edition, it offers a large amount of elemental-themed material. Kriven, Divine Domains, offers material for 5th edition linked to the Kriven Campaign World. This is offering unique spells and some clerical abilities. Martian Crawl Classics is a Mutant Crawl Classics RPG compatible offering that converts H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds to be the founding event of the great disaster behind Mutant Crawl Classics. Witch's Word and Dragon's Doom is a Shadow Dark RPG adventure that deals with a witch that has promised prosperity to a starving village but requires a dragon's most precious treasure to do so. Forest of Exile is another Shadow Dark adventure. This one deals with some creatures of fairy which are seeking refuge in a ruined castle and are just awful, awful residents. Player Companion for Shadow Dark offers a slew of material for that system, including new ancestries, classes, gemstones, weapons, and armor types, and much more. Star Dark Adventures in the Outer Fringe is a Shadow Dark conversion of a sort of sci-fi game called Outlaws in the Outer Fringe. Letters from the Dark, Volume 6, Scalawags, is a Shadow Dark RPG supplement that offers a maritime adventure that has got rules for ship and naval combat, new classes, new ancestries, and more. A place that was, is, and will be as a sort of sword and sorcery style time crawl suited for OSR systems, especially Shadow Dark in a zine format. The Sunken Sisters is an old-school Essentials and similar OSR system-based adventure. It deals with some crumbling ruins on a jungle island. Jeremy Hart has Creature Feature Quarterly, Volume 12 for old-school Essentials and Lamentations of Flame Princess. It includes 16 new monsters for OSR-style games with descriptions, lore, adventure seeds, paper minis, and tokens, and so forth. Fortress Hill is an OSR-style adventure dealing with some kobold raiders from the adventures in Filbar, who I may note should probably change the rule system that they've been categorizing these under, as it does not reflect what they're looking for. They have it under like basic role-playing, and it's actually like a basic D&D style offering, and basic role-playing is something else. Lost Temple of the Snake Man is an adventure module for Osric and similar systems. It deals with a port town where villagers have been abducted. Knave 2nd Edition is available an exploration-driven fantasy RPG. It expands on the original game and offers several modular subsystems. There's also Summer's End and other one-page adventures, which offers some adventures for that system. Vasa has Earth Dawn 4th Edition Magic Deeper Secrets, a supplement for Earth Dawn. They also have the Grand Bazaar, another supplement for Earth Dawn, and the adventure Legends of the Barsave Growth Potential, which is an adventure for Earth Dawn 4th Edition. Wraiths of Wessex RPG Core Rulebook is a 17th century-based RPG set in southern English counties. I wonder if it uses the same... I think it's from the same people that did the Reavers of something or another, which had the Highland type stuff. Anyway, Chivalry and Sorcery Sourcebook 1 offers a collection of short articles and expansions for the material in the original book, including new rules, vocations, skills, and creatures. Bloat Games has survived this Camp Blood core ruled, a grindhouse-style horror tabletop role-playing game basically dealing with camp slasher-style scenarios. There's also Camp Blood, These Campers Are Different, which expands with additional classes and a more super-powered horror aesthetic for camp counselors and campers that are not just run-of-the-mill ordinary people. Vampire the Masquerade role-playing game, 5th edition at Crimson Gutter, is a chronicle for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition, suitable for newbies or novice or experienced storytellers, and it's a starter chronicle for new characters. No Gods, No Masters for Scion is a 3-part adventure where the fate of the world is in the player's hands. When isn't it? Eldritch, another worldly RPG, is a Year Zero based RPG that focuses on stories of mystery and horror in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Warhammer 40,000, Imperial Maledictum, His Glorious Shield, details a location focused around a floating hive, basically a city ship and its citizens. Shadowrun, That Old Voodoo, is a supplement for 6th World that brings the voodoo tradition along with its enchantments, ritual creatures, and so forth. 5 Million Worlds Press has a couple adventures for the Mothership RPG. There is Bones on the Ground and Rusted to the Core. Finally, there is the My Little Pony role-playing game, Story of the Seasons, an adventure and sourcebook for the My Little Pony RPG using Essence 20 rules. The details for seasonal adventures, along with the Griffin origin, rules for downtime, details on festivals, and so forth. And now, on to crowdfunding campaigns. Remember that contributing to a crowdfunding campaign should be done only at your own risk. Doing so is no guarantee of receiving a product mentioned here is not an endorsement, but is for informational purposes only. And we'll start with Voidsayer, a computer and console role-playing strategy game that caught my eye. It looks like it's going to be inspired by classic Pokemon-style gameplay, except in a dark world cursed by the Abyss, where you basically, pick like actually dark monsters. And for tabletop crowdfunding, there is Wings of Dread that will be a 5th edition Dragon Slayer style adventure for levels 7 to 9. It'll have the party summoned to a besieged capital city in order to face off against a dragon that has returned from a centuries-long slumber. The Sunken Galleon will be an underwater adventure for 5th edition where you play deep divers exploring the depths of the ocean floor. Chronicles of Azure Bay will be a coastal hub instead of nautical adventures for 5th edition from side quest. It'll offer a new region, new items, battle maps, and so forth. Disturbance in Lockwood Asylum will be a full-length 5th edition module. We're exploring an insane asylum, and it will include horror themes. Oddfeld's Guide to the Thornwood will be a 5th edition setting with new mechanics, new environment, new monsters, new races, classes, and items designed around a place of remote and isolated settlements. Kobold Quest from Ashes to Empire will be another 5th edition adventure where you play as a kobold. It will also include Pathfinder and OSR style versions. This one will include kingdom building mechanics. Apparently your kobolds are really moving up in the world. Manifest Kith and Kin will be a Western style offering for 5th edition, Pathfinder 2nd edition, and similar systems. It'll include American style cryptids and things influenced from Campfire Tales. Renewal at Crater Lake will be an adventure from Fraud God Games for 5th edition, Castles and Crusades, and OSR systems. It deals with a type of elf known as the Airgeth Elves. The Witch Elm will be a one-shot adventure suited for 5th edition, as well as Shadow Dark, which revolves around a tall elm where a human skull is found tangled in its roots. D12 Monthly Annual looks to be a compilation of the original 8 issues of the D12 Monthly magazine combined into one book. It looks like it's suited for D&D and OSR systems. Shadow Spark Dungeon Encounter Cards will be a collection of cards from Philip Reed suited for the Shadow Dark system that can be used by a DM looking for ideas or randomization of encounters, or just for solitary players looking for the same. Pirates of the Goblin River will be a DC RPG-based adventure. It'll focus on folklore-based role-playing and be a third part of a 5-part adventure module adventure path. That's a DCC RPG. I don't know why I only put one C in there. Anyway, Gary's Appendix, Issue 6, will be a collection of material for old school essentials and similar OSR content, with content from a variety of authors. Bizarre Kingdoms will be a Savage World system setting that will be an expansion for Odysseys and Overlords of 2nd edition system. It details various new land and creatures. Vermilion Blood Hunt will be a collection of blood-based adventures for the Savage World system of Vermilion. It'll include survival horror adventures, 6 various Savage Tales for mini sandbox campaigns, new monsters, NPCs, and so on. Nightbound will be a powered by the apocalypse style RPG set in a world where the supernatural is lurking just under the veil of normalcy. It is inspired by the Hellblazer comics and John Constantine. SLA Industries 2nd edition Cult, and I recently saw that it's actually supposed to be pronounced Slay Industries. Anyway, will produce new material for that RPG focused around a set of cults. And Now That You're Dead looks to be a rules-light modern horror tabletop RPG inspired by things like The Shining, The Sixth Sense, and so forth, where you play a character in the modern world that has the ability to see the departed. Finally, there is Techromancer, a pamphlet adventure for the Mothership horror sci-fi RPG, where the PCs have flown through a cloud of dust that has all the remains of an ancient necropolis, and the old lord of that necropolis has now awakened. And with that, I will wrap things up here. As always, links will be below. This has been the RPG Crawler with my RPG News Roundup for June 22nd, 2024. If you like what you've seen, remember to leave a like, comment on your feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content. Until next time, take care and goodbye.
And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribestar, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.